Well, good morning. I got here a nice mixed compilation of some pictures I took out as well from Sapperton Station, the Brewery District, and what used to be Labatt's there years back. But anyways, so the SkyTrain, and then trying to look at the railways and looking toward the Patella Bridge and the railway bridge and the new Patella Bridge under construction. So along with the SkyTrain bridge from the opposite side of that. So it's, yeah, different. It was busy and I had fun after seeing my dad from out of the Royal Columbian Hospital. So anyway, I've got a compilation here, and then there'll be some mixture of some videos of model train to the actual Paul the Train guy and some other mixture of stuff as well. So compilation here. So
show you how this Polar Express works real quick. This is the remote, forward. Obviously there's the reverse. Hold on. Why is it so blurry in the background? Anyway, you can still see it. Here's the horn. There's the bell. That makes noises too, but it's super freaking loud, so I have it down. Then there's announcements with this button. I think that's about it for those announcements. Yep. And then when you go forward, gift of Christmas, tickets please. There is another one. I'm gonna see if I can get him to say it. Stop. Wait, actually, make it a little more realistic. Reverse to about, hold on, right there. Okay. Come on, say it. No. Okay. Well, are you coming? Is what he's supposed to say.
The North Pole Express in Squamish is a 50-minute vintage train ride starting and ending at the Railway Museum. This super family-friendly experience is a cute and festive thing to do if you like trains or are just looking for a bit of Christmas atmosphere. There's carols, plenty of entertainment, free cookies and candy canes, and when you arrive at the North Pole, you get free hot chocolate and a chance to meet Santa.
This train spits water, shoots sparks, and has a police siren. Not to mention a horn of its own. It's called a rail grinder, and it's used to reprofile the surface of train rails to remove any surface defects and make for a smoother ride. Removing those defects also helps to mitigate any cracks from forming, especially considering the kind of tonnage that moves over main lines. I was treated to seeing one as a surprise, just hanging out by the tracks when I saw a weird slow-moving LED headlight, which is unusual for North American trains, and when I saw the sparks flying, I knew it was a rail grinder. It's quite a show, especially at night. This particular move had a high rail truck following to watch for fires, and a second rail grinder to address areas around switches. The grinders can be raised and lowered in action to go over paved crossings and other high points. I chased it up the line and caught it in a few different locations, just so I could bring you this video. Pretty neat. Follow Paul the Train Guy for more of my trackside adventures. The gales of November came early, resulting in the loss of 29 crew on Lake Superior. I'm talking about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, an iron ore boat that broke in two in 1975, and November 10th is the 50th anniversary of the incident, popularized by the Gordon Lightfoot song bearing the same title. The ship set sail followed by the Arthur M. Anderson, which is still in service today, and encountered serious winds and waves. The captain's famous last words over the radio were, "We're holding our own," and then the ship disappeared off the radar. The song has a few inaccuracies, though, proclaiming that the ship left from some mill in Wisconsin and left fully loaded for Cleveland. It was actually headed for Zug Island in River Rouge, Michigan, and left from the Burlington Northern Railroad Dock No. 5 in Superior, Wisconsin, with 26,000 tons of iron ore. Nonetheless, these are all great Great Lakes locations, rich in their industrial history, and I don't think the story of the wreck would be nearly as popular if it wasn't for the song. Lately, social media has been obsessed with the lore of the wreck, with various memes like, "Oh, I never see you at the club." "Yeah, well, I never see you getting emotional over the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald." At the Mariners Church in Detroit, the bell rang 29 times for each of the crew members, and one more time for Gordon Lightfoot when he passed in 2023. Did the ship hit a big wave and break in two? Were the hatches not secured? Was it riding too low in the water? However it went, it's become one of the greatest stories of legend and lore in Great Lakes history. Most people probably don't think twice about the trains rolling through their town. And if you're stuck by one, you're probably eager for it to pass. But I've spent my whole life watching these trains on my hometown railroad, Norfolk Southern, and what I've learned is that they're keeping nearly every corner of the economy in motion. Think about the phone you're watching this on. It likely came in on a train from a coastal port. The lumber that built your house, the tires on your car, the steel in the buildings downtown, even the food in your fridge. Trains haul all of that, from raw materials to finished products. Most people might not realize how much of their world travels by rail. Norfolk Southern, for example, moves over 2,000 different commodities. With Thanksgiving around the corner, much of what ends up on the dinner table was shipped in refrigerated boxcars. And during one of the year's busiest travel weeks, millions of new vehicles rolling in auto racks like this are headed to driveways nationwide. And beyond what they move, it's how trains move it that's impressive. Steel wheel on steel rail is incredibly efficient. So efficient that the entire ground contact of a 200-car train is about the size of a doormat. That means fewer trucks on the highway, less congestion, and a smaller environmental footprint while still moving massive amounts of freight. So the next time you see a train roll by, maybe take a moment to think about what's on it. It's not just rail cars, it's the stuff our communities rely on every day. And if you spot the crew up front, give them a wave. I always did. And for some reason, it always mattered that they waved back. Hey everybody, Paul the Train Guy here. Tonight we're checking out a hidden gem, the Youngstown Model Railroad Association's 2-rail O-scale layout. So I met up with my friend Blake Markham to check out his local model train club. This place functions like a real railroad, and there's a wide variety of equipment from all eras, whether you like steam or diesel. My personal favorite was the set of Conrail units, my favorite railroad that I grew up watching. The dispatcher, Pete, keeps a watchful eye over the operation and barks orders to keep trains moving and from running into each other. Up in the observation tower is a complex system of switches that line trains through splits in the track, and it takes coordination and skill to make it all work. They even have the end of a real caboose in here, so you can have some reference to the size of a real train. One of the coolest pieces on the layout was the Rail Beast, a locomotive that actually existed, if only for a few days, painted in the dead of the night by graffiti taggers. Blake motioned me downstairs, and to my surprise, there was a whole separate layout in a smaller scale called HO. This layout represents Youngstown in its heyday when the steel plants were still humming. There's amusement park rides, even Thomas the Tank made an appearance. This layout is especially cool because it functions at night, with every scene lit up in accurate detail. So come check out the Youngstown Model Railroad Association. They're having an open house on December 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th, noon to 6. It's a great event for families, especially around the holidays. Or if you're like me, and you just like trains.
Act natural.